Hey folks, it's Adrian, and we are going to hike a loop at the north end of the Knobstone Trail today in Indiana. For those of you who don't know me, I am a third-year medical student, and I happen to be on OBGYN this month. And Tuesdays are long days, which means I get Wednesdays off. So today is a Wednesday, which is incredible because I'm out here. I am getting ready to go on a wilderness medicine trek in the Guia Wilderness in New Mexico. And so I've got my gear and I've been doing a few shakedown hikes. So today I essentially have weighed down my pack here. This is the Gregory Baltoro 95. I've got my boots on, which I've been working on breaking in. These are the La Sportiva Nucleos. This is very different for me. I've been spending a lot of time over the last several years reining my gear in, making it smaller, making it lighter, saving up, making some of those more expensive purchases for gear that is lighter and will last me longer. So having boots instead of trail runners and a pack that weighs more than like some people's base weight is a little different for me. I think I'm probably gonna end up doing the 5 mile, it's a little over 5 mile loop today. If I'm moving quick, I can turn it into a 10, but there's really nothing in between. I drove about 2 hours south of, Indianapolis. I had Taco Bell this morning. That was horrible. Oh, goodness. So we're about 2 hours south of Indy. It's January, what is today, 12th? It's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. So actually the trailhead is just right over there. So I am gonna finish getting packed up here and then we're gonna get on our way. All right, so we're here. This is technically the northern end. So we're gonna do that upper loop, the Delaney Park loop. We can extend it and do the Spurgeon Hollow loop if we want. But I'm not sure that I have enough time today for 10 miler. It's a little past 11, so we'll see. And I don't know, maybe we will, maybe we won't. Here we go. All right, so since I'm alone today, I'm actually gonna have to pay attention to the trail sign. So I'm following these white ones. We've got a double blaze, which means the trail turns. And I believe that's where we're going. There's this nice little stream here at the start. So I just need to figure out to cross, probably up there. Let's see, I might have to put my waterproof boots to the test today, guys. The very beginning of this isn't the easiest to navigate in the world that I've seen. But also, not a ton of people are on it. That's it, KT Knobstone. Now that makes it look easy, but at least there are plenty of white blazes so far. I think I'm gonna have to cross lots of creeks here at the beginning. Coming up on this first mile marker here. So you notice this says 48. So I'm at the end, like I said, the north end of the Knobstone Trail. And when you're at the north end, you have a couple of options on how to finish it. If you're doing a no-bow hike, northbound hike, and you're ending up here, you hit a spot where basically you can either go left or right to finish out the end of the trail. If you go left, that's kind of the more southern portion of it, then you hike a slightly less distance. So I think it's like 46, 47 miles maybe. But if you take the north end, then you take a slightly longer route around and it's closer to 48, 49 miles. So today, like I was saying, is I'm hiking the kind of loop section at that top. So I'm kind of doing all of the choose your own adventure there at the top. So one of the things that Knobstone is kind of known as, at least in our area, is a shakedown for AT hikers. It has a lot of ups and downs over the series. It's kind of one of those where you go up and then you come straight back down, which really is what a lot of the AT is known for, especially like the roller coaster section of it. So it gives people an idea. It's long enough where they can kind of test out their gear, but also a long enough period of time where they can test out their bodies and seeing how they're going to adapt to, you know, actually carrying all of that weight for all those miles. We were gonna hike the Knobstone. I'm going downhill and it is slick as snot. We were gonna hike the Knobstone at the beginning of the pandemic, but unfortunately a pandemic came and kind of ruined those plans for us. You know, in retrospect, we probably would have been fine to hike it, but the Knobstone doesn't have the best bailout points in the world. You kind of have to stash some of your water along the way, and it was just too risky. You know, if one of us were to get sick, how are we supposed to like get them home and get off the trail? So hopefully here soon we'll be able to find another week to kind of hike this and take some time and do it. But yeah, today is just a solo hike and me doing as much or as little as I can of the loop here at the top. I'm gonna stop filming so Alright, so we are on top of the ridge finally, and I think now for a good section of the hike, it's really just hanging up on the ridge and going kind of a little bit up and down between each one, but nothing super intense like what I just did. So I wanted to share some info on everything I have in my pack, though I won't be using it all on this trip since it's just a day trip, but it's all in here anyways. So like I was saying, I've been working on getting a little bit lighter. So I do have an Enlightened Equipment, dog poop, gross. An Enlightened Equipment quilt. I believe, I'm trying to remember, I think this one is 10 degree, 0 degree, something like that. Because my underquilt is a 20, which I don't have with me. I just have the top quilt. And then I have a Dyneema fiber tarp. I don't know, I like tent and hammock camping for different reasons. When I go with other people, I tend to use a tent. When it's just me or me and like my one other buddy who I go with a lot of times, we tend to hammock. Though to be fair, we've tented a little more recently. What else do I have in here? I've got an Ursack because I'm not sure what the rules are where I'll be going as far as canisters. I don't think there are any, but I'll be going with a group called Knowles. Let me set this here for a minute and do this. I'll be going with a group called Knowles, and they basically take care of all of the the group stuff. So a lot of this stuff I won't even need. Like, I won't need to bring my tarp. The Dyneema tarp thankfully weighs next to nothing, so it wouldn't be a big deal if I wanted to bring it or decided to bring it. Like I said, they suggested a big pack. I have, the biggest that I own was the first one that I bought, and it is an Osprey Aether, maybe, or Atmos, I forget, but I think it's the 65 liter. It might be 75. It's one of those guys. I get these mixed up because I bought, the first pack I ever bought was an Osprey Atmos, but I didn't understand the sizing at the time, and I clearly had not done enough research. So I bought a size large, thinking I'm a little bit of a rounder guy. I was a little rounder at the time even, and I just saw like the actual liters on the pack, and I thought, well, why wouldn't I get a large? And of course, I didn't realize until later that it was really based off of torso length, and I'm absolutely a size small. But anyways, they recommended a bigger size pack, which is why I have the Gregory Baltoro 95. Now, I could have rented from them for the month, but since I am interested in getting into more mountaineering, expedition, wilderness medicine type of stuff, I decided it would probably be worth it for me to have a larger liter bag. Did a lot of research, and this is the one that kind of came up for me. Let's see what else I have in here. I have a Helinox Chair Zero, which is a bit of like a luxury item. Not a bit. I mean, it's a pound, but it's a pound more than I would usually carry on my light days. I've got the Ursack, which has some food in it just for the day, and then I have a Tokes pot and the BSR, like cheap stove off of Amazon. It's like 15 bucks. That thing is the lightest thing I can find, and it's worked for me for years. And if it stopped working, it would be 15 bucks to replace, so I'm not too worried about it. What else I have in here? For weight, I have an MSR, a steel pot, and a like a wood burning stove. I really just brought that because I didn't want to pack a ton of food, but I wanted a little more weight in the pack. I have kind of a bag of knickknacks, as it were. So I've got my Katadyn Be Free 1 liter water filter in there. I used the Sawyer's for a while, and I just like this a lot more. I think it's kind of a personal preference, but I like the actual bottle on the Katadyn quite a bit more. I've got, I do have a water bladder in here. I don't even know what brand it is. It's 2 liters. And then I actually have a Smart Water bottle hanging off the side here that's got another liter in it. Just mostly just habit, carrying that guy. What else we got? I have my Gooders sunglasses. Shout out to the fiance for introducing me to those. I've got this pretty sweet hat that I got for Christmas, which says, "You are a native land." Recommend checking out that company. Check out their hummingbird logo. It's pretty excellent. But I just like to remind myself when I'm out enjoying the land that, you know, it is, I come from a place of privilege to be here, and I just like to try to remember to be respectful and kind of the original inhabitants of the land that I'm on. I have some cheap old trekking poles. These are the Cascade Mountain Tech, supposedly carbon fiber. Again, these were pretty cheap off of Amazon. I had a pair of Lecky ski poles actually that I hiked with forever, but they're not adjustable, so I decided to go with these guys. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's mostly what I have in my pack. Last time I brought my saw again just for weight. And then I have some other things in here, some like electronics and some TP and, or as they like to call them, shit tickets. That cracks me up. But yeah, so hiking with a fair amount of stuff today, just kind of testing it all out, testing my body out, seeing how I deal. Because I know I'm gonna have more weight than this on the actual trek. So I'm just trying to build it up. I also live in Indiana, and we are at like altitude nothing. It's hard to find hills. I'm gonna walk and talk a little bit here, but it's hard to find hills in Indiana. If you know where to look, you can find them, but you definitely gotta know where to look. So I'm trying to do my best to get out and work on strengthening my body and getting used to doing this. I haven't completely decided what, my outfit is gonna be for this trip, so if you have any recommendations for the Ghia Wilderness and basically the month of April, let me know. I am a sun hoodie kind of guy. I've liked these a lot. It's like that breathable wicking sort of material. I like them because they have UPF in them, and I don't like slathering myself with sunscreen, over a period of days where I'm super gross and your hands get gross, and just don't like dealing with that. So the long sleeves, breathable material gives me a little more protection. And then the hood I can put up, you know, if it's super sunny, if it's windy, if my ears get a little cold and I'm not quite ready to bust out a sock hat, I can do this. I'm in, what are you? Like Revolution racing pants, which I wanted a pair of Fall Ravens for a while, and they are just honestly way out of my price range. And I kind of ran across this Revolution racing, I don't know, it was a while ago, and realized, hey, like, I might actually be able to afford a pair of those. So I got a pair. Thankfully for me, they do come in a short size too. Though I will say, it's almost just like the pant length is short, but like the dimensions are the same. So for the knee protectors, it's actually like the seam here, which is supposed to be above your knee, ends up coming like right at my knee, which is not the most ideal for, you know, bending, moving, etc. So yeah, I guess I would say overall, I really like these pants. I like that they come in short, but short is not just a length, my friends. There's more to it than that. And I'm sure you tall people understand on the other end. But yeah, so anywho, I'm gonna try to bust out as much of this ridge as I can. And I hope you enjoyed listening to my miscellaneous gear spiel there. All right, mile 47. Whew. In some ways, this last mile has been quick. In some ways it has been slow because I've been jabbering a lot on here. But when I'm actually moving, I'm making good time. So I'm gonna try to keep moving. Enjoying the ridge walking so far. That initial up was not very kind. It was just like straight up. Because we're in Indiana, we don't really have hills. So we don't really know what to do with the trail when we encounter a hill. I guess the answer is just go straight up and over it. Sometimes I prefer that. Sometimes I like my switchbacks. But is what it is. It's good for me. Gotta eat my Wheaties. This right here is one of the pluses of hiking in the wintertime. Is I can see like there's a town over there. You know, like way over there in the distance. And there's no way in the summertime, really any time that there's foliage, that I'd be able to see, you know, the contour really the same way. I'm just on the backside of the ridge here and have been for a while. But yeah, that's pretty cool. It's nice to hike some of these different places in different seasons because they look, or they can look so different and the views are so different. So it's nice to try to remember to look up occasionally because then you see stuff you haven't ever seen before. So the trail that I'm on looks like it crosses this like old logging road. Is the best guess of what we got here. So I just, right after I stopped filming the last thing for like the pretty view, it was like a straight up onto the ridge, which wasn't very far, but hot dog, it was steep. So back to Indiana, not really knowing how to get how to deal with any amount of heights. But like I was saying, this bit of a ridge walk is honestly maybe even prettier now in the winter because you can see a little more through the trees. So it's kind of cool. Kind of a different experience. I don't know how well you'll be able to see these, but I just found a section where there are some little muddy deer prints going on up here. That's kind of fun. Got my own little muddy prints behind me, I'm sure. Yeah, fun. Just stepped off the trail so I could get a little bit of a view of this. But this is kind of what I'm talking about with it, like being winter and clearer. So it's cool to be able to look down and you can see the different farms and Indiana really is beautiful in its own way. But yeah, I'm super happy I'm doing this winter trip because I've just not gotten to see these kind of things before. And I always find just being out and hiking incredibly rejuvenating for me. So I'm gonna keep on this old logging road, following our white blazes there. And I'm gonna actually try to put my camera away and keep it away for a bit this time so I can make some progress instead of looking out at the views the whole time and trying to capture them on camera. All right, mile marker 46. Counting them down. I still have a little over 2.5 miles to go on the short hike. Short hike. It is a short hike. It's like 5 miles. But it's kicking my butt. It's a tough 5 miles. So here's to mile 46. Alright, so I have formally reached the part of the trail where I've got to make a decision. So I can either go the way I was planning to go and head out that way and follow the Spurgeon Hollow Loop, or I could go that way and turn my 5 mile into a 10 mile, which I do not think I'm doing today. I'm supposed to get done around, if I were to keep going through now, I would be done around 2:30-ish. It's like a 2-hour drive home. It'd put me home at like 4:30. I'd be able to beat rush hour, maybe, probably. Or maybe stop by my buddies on the way home who bailed out on me today. To be fair, he was pretty clear the past couple of days, and I kept trying to be like, come on, come with me, and he was not having it. But I understand this is one of his days off, so he deserves to sit and rest. But I think 10 mile would push me a little too close to past when it's gonna get dark. And that's fine, like I have my headlamp and stuff. But I don't know that I'm super interested in getting home that late, because let's say it would take me another mosey, and it'd take me another, like, I don't know, 3 hours or so going the other way. We'd be back, I don't know, math. But I would probably get back to my car around like 6:30, and then it's like a 2-hour drive home. That puts me up at 8:30. I gotta put all my stuff away, and then I gotta work early in the morning, so I don't think that is the right call. It's super windy right here, actually, so I'm gonna tuck back on the trail I was just on, and I'm gonna set up shop for a minute and have some food and chill out, because I don't have to rush out of here. So, all right. Oh, it's not the most flattering view in the world here. Let's see if we can adjust a little bit. All right. So, I have cleared out a little area over here since I brought my wood burning stove. The ground's super wet, but I still went ahead and cleared off a nice patch of earth here so I can sit my wood burning stove on it. I don't really need to start a fire I mean, I have some stuff that I can make that I could use a fire with. So I don't really have like a reason that I have to do this, but I thought it might be nice to sit here and have my lunch by a little fire and maybe heat up like some hot chocolate or something like that. That might be nice. So that's my toques that I have with a little like BSR in it, and then this is my bigger wood stove. So I'm gonna get that going, and I'll show it to you once I get a fire moving here. Alrighty. I don't actually know if this is enough to get this bad boy started, but we'll see. I'm gonna try the old stick method here. It's pretty windy today, so we'll see if if I can get these guys to go. I have to find some little smaller guys to get started here. Sometimes if you got some small enough sticks and some dry enough sticks, you can just get a little bundle of them going with your lighter. Of course I didn't bring a fire starter or anything, so if I've got to find some better thinner guys I can, which I think is what I'm going to need to do. Which is fine. I knew that was a distinct possibility. You want to find ones that are like pencil thickness. This is actually a dead tree up above me. We're going to die. It's very close to death. It's fallen over. I should probably not be sitting under it, if I'm being honest with you. But, here we are. So, let's see if we can get some of these guys moving. Some of these little guys. Might be able to get them moving. Maybe. Not quite. Let's see this right. I'm gonna do it. I should have just done it right to begin with, eh? So you want some that are like pencil lead thickness. If you're gonna light them to start like this. And ideally you build your way up from, you know, pencil lead thickness to pencil thickness, and then a little bigger than that, and kind of make your move as you go. But I don't know if this will be enough either, but we're certainly gonna try it. They're going. The question is, can I keep them going? Just maybe. We may have something here, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, we're getting this thing moving now. It's one of those things where every time I try to light a fire quickly, I'm reminded of why it's really the best to do all of the prep work ahead of time. But we're going now. And we're getting things moving and grooving here. So I'm gonna get my fire moving, and then I'll share it with all of you. And then I'm gonna make some hot chocolate. I think that's pretty much it. So wish me luck, everybody, on the fire. Hopefully it continues to go. I guess I could show it to you here since I took the time to make it. But, so there it is. It's going. It's putting off some heat, and I am very thankful for that. Next step, I packed in some Taco Bell, so T-Bell for me. Alright. So we've got fire going here. I'm scooted back from it just a little bit since it's toasty. But it's really nice for my little fingers. So I'm gonna use these out of the way since it's blowing this direction. But I'm gonna get into my Taco Bell before the bugs do. I am sitting right in the wind. A hash brown leftover, and then I've got one of their like breakfast burrito things. I'm not in the shot, am I? That's a little better. So I've got this guy going. I'm gonna keep it moving for a little bit because it does keep me warm while I'm sitting here. I'm gonna eat my hash brown. I'm gonna eat my burrito, and then we'll see. I might heat up some hot chocolate if I'm feeling it. I might not. Who knows? World's my oyster. So I'm just finishing up my Taco Bell, and I'm probably gonna do one more teeny tiny round of fuel in here, and then I'm gonna let it die out and let it cool down, back it up, drink some water, and then go ahead and work on doing the last, I think it's a little under 2 miles left, I think I have. So we'll see. I think it's gonna go pretty easy from here on out. It doesn't look like, I think I have like one relatively steep downhill, which might be rough on my knees, but it won't be challenging otherwise. I think I probably need to get some like knee compression sleeves. I only ever really have pain when I'm going on the downhill, and that makes sense for what I'm doing and what my knees are doing, but I don't know. I feel like I'm too young for that. It's been really nice today to be out. I don't typically do a lot of solo hiking. I like to be outside a lot, but I like to experience it with other people. I don't know if that makes sense, but so I would say this is not really my typical, but I'm happy to be out. So wilderness medicine trip, basically what's going on with that is I have signed up with Knowles to go on a month-long rotation. So like I said, this month I'm on OBGYN. Yesterday I watched a bunch of epidurals, which is kind of cool. And then I applied, I got accepted to go. It's from like April 9th or 10th to May 6th or so. The first week you're in their Arizona office in Tucson, or outside of Tucson, I guess. I fly into Tucson, and you're there for like a week-ish, and you do like a bunch of wilderness medicine stuff that week. So a lot of prepping for when you go out into the wilderness, and then just like running scenarios, so talking about things like hyperthermia, hypothermia, snake bites, burns, everything from things that are that, not, I don't say minute, but like that small, all the way up to things like broken bones that are like poking out of the skin, and mass casualties and that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited to go do that. It was a little expensive, and we're currently saving up for a wedding, my fiance and I. So we'll see. I mean, I'm going and we're gonna make it work, but it's just tough. Weddings are so expensive, guys. It's not nice. It's not nice. So we'll see how all of that goes. I'm sure it'll be fine and we'll make it work, but we're also kind of looking at getting or have been looking at getting a second dog. We have Barrow, who is an 8-year-old lab, who is just like the best guy in the world. He's like 100 pounds of black lab love, and he is spoiled and takes up most of the bed. But he's getting older, and you know, he could use a buddy to help keep him moving and keep him spry. And then, you know, we lived for a while with a couple of other dogs, and then, you know, my girlfriend at the time, fiance now, moved in to the house we're in. My roommates moved out, so the 2 dogs who were living there with Bear are gone, which was fine because the pandemic hit and everybody was working from home for a while. But now that we're all back at work, I feel bad for him that he's like home alone for a lot of the day. So I feel like having another dog around to keep him company and it's not like separation anxiety, but just like boredom, you know? So I want to keep it moving, but things are expensive. So I did apply for a scholarship, which I did get, but it covers like a fourth of the trip, which is not nothing, don't get me wrong, but it just, I still have to come up with a good chunk of change to go. But it'll count for credit for school and, you know, all of that, so that's pretty cool. And like I said at the very beginning, I'm in my 3rd year of med school, so med school is 4 years. When you graduate med school, you graduate and you're a doctor, and then you go on to do residency, which is kind of whatever sort of specialty you want to do. So for me, I'm currently most interested in emergency medicine. Now that may change between now and when I decide to do things. But wilderness medicine is actually like a subset of emergency medicine. And that's obviously something that I'm pretty interested in. So we'll see, you know, maybe that'll be the route that I go, but it's tough. It's a hard decision to make, and you don't get to unmake it. So trying to make sure that it's right. We'll see. So kind of looking at that route. And then in March of next year, basically we all find out where we matched and where we're going. And then, so we all find out in like one day. We open like an envelope and it tells us where we're going. And then in July, you start that new job. You start your residency. So you basically have, from March, you figure out where you're moving, and then like you gotta get going. So I'll graduate from med school in May 2023. And then my fiance and I are actually getting married the weekend after that. And then we'll be figuring out where we're moving. So I don't know what that's gonna look like. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what specialty I'm gonna be in. So here in the next year and a half, we're up for a lot of big changes. But for now, I'm just trying to kind of focus on the next thing. It's January 12th, so I think the wilderness medicine trip is kind of the next big thing, which is why I'm out here with all my gear, my shoes, kind of testing all of this stuff. So I don't know how I feel about the whole, it's gonna be super heavy. We'll see how I deal with that. I haven't had a super heavy pack in a long time, because I'm a trail runner kind of guy, so being back in boots is like wild. You know, I've got a little like 40-liter bag, I think. It might be smaller than that, but you know, that's super lightweight and doesn't have a frame or has an optional frame. And just having this big bulky guy is a bit of a change. So they encourage you to use what you have, so I don't know, we'll see. I may end up taking some other stuff out, but it's tough because, right, like, it's shared gear, so it's not going to be, you know, my light stuff. Like, I'm not solo backpacking out there. And then since we're going to be in the wilderness, but I'll be studying for med school, I'm going to have to take some kind of study book out there, because they don't give us access to our phones. And, well, I don't want to say it quite that way, but basically you're not supposed to use your phone, because you could use things like GPS and whatever, and you're trying to learn how to like be proficient without those things. So, you know, there is a purpose to it, but it just means that, you know, I use a lot of the question sets and stuff on my phone, so I'm probably gonna have to take like a book, and med school books even, I'm probably gonna take like a case files book, but you know, a book, and then I gotta take like a notebook to write stuff in, and so just kind of some weird odds and ends. Like my chair I don't normally take, but we're gonna have classroom activities out in the wild, and so they recommend that we take these chairs, or it's, you know, suggested, so you don't have to just like sit on the ground every time. So I probably will, because I like the chair as a nice little luxury item here. But yeah, so I know I'm kind of rambling to y'all, but it's just one of them things where there's like a lot of big changes coming up between the wilderness med and then applying to residencies and interviewing for residencies, and you know, figuring out what I want to be when I grow up, and what kind of doctor I want to be, and all that fun stuff. So we'll see, but I should probably make sure that this is out, bury it appropriately, get packed up, and get heading out of here. But it's been nice today just to be out here and outside. I always feel so much better when I do this. So. Alright, time to pack up. We're all packed up. Hopefully you can't tell where I've been in any of this. That's the goal, right? Should leave the place. Leave no trace. Leave the place better than you found it. Alright, let's get out of here, shall we? I was there for like an hour just chilling. So it's like it's almost 2:30, 2:25-ish. So we have a little under 2 miles to go, and it shouldn't be the most strenuous 2 miles. It's funny, oh dear poop. My watch was like yelling at me while I was sitting there. Because I just paused it while I was sitting. And it tried to autosave on me twice. So it was grumpy with how long I was sitting there. But we were back moving. 2-ish miles. Yeah. So when we joined up here, this trail's a little wider now. It looks like there's like just a bunch of old logging roads back here. So I'm assuming it's probably what this is. But it's nice. I don't know, I think it got up into like the low 40s today, but we've definitely hit our peak for the day for temperature, so it's downhill from here on that front, but it's just beautiful in its own way. Alright, just came from that way, getting ready to head that way, but let's have a look. To Delaney Park Trailhead, absolutely, that's where we're gonna go. I've got like under a mile left. If I would have done the 10-mile loop, that's where I would have come from. So I would have met back here. So this is the little like shortcut through the way. So let's power it out. 0.77-ish miles left to go. I think this is where we caught the first glimpse of the lake last time. And then the kind of embarrassing story is like, I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly, that somewhere back in there is where I've had the best poop of my whole life. TMI. Sorry. I think I might be. I'm getting close. And I have my boots on. I could just tromp through it, which I should probably just do, but it's kind of fun sometimes. Yeah. I can start to see it peeking through there. There we go. Cool. Nice. I don't know if you can start to see that through there. So now I just basically hike along the lake, and then I'm parked somewhere right over there. I love hiking on and through pine. It's so soft to my little feet. You can see where the lake is kind of flooded up here and frozen. It's a little quieter here, I guess, than me stomping through all of these leaves. We're getting back to the leaves here, but it looks like we might be a little flooded. So we're gonna have to get a wee bit creative with the trail here. We'll see. I mean, for real. That's beautiful. Getting to walk along this. Alright, we're under half a mile. I'm gonna quit opening the camera and get to finishing this. I'll touch base with you guys. Let me get back up close to that trailhead. Alright. We have officially made it back. Where's my car over there? Officially made it back to the start. And I need to stop my watch. Woo! Map we started with today. Alright, so we finished it. We started here, went around this way. We came over here, took a pause here. Yeah, and then finished it out. So let's go pack everything up, get in my car, Make sure not a million people tried to send me messages or emails or anything today. And then we'll head home. So, a little over 5 miles, somewhere between like 5.5 miles. Lord, I can't speak today. It's good. The hill at the very beginning was not fun. And then there are a lot of just like ups and downs, which is what the Knobstone is known for. So be prepared for that. Those are not easy. But once you're up on the ridges, it's not too bad. But hot dog, those ups and downs. All right, folks. Wish me luck. Safe travels. Bye all. God love Indiana. Because we don't have a lot of hills. Whoop! That scared the shit out of me.